Alright YouTube, it's such a pleasure to have you here. This is my first video on the literature playlist. I'm speaking in English because I'm addressing this video to David Canterbury YouTube channel. He'll probably not give a damn about my review. Anyhow, we'll be talking about Bushcraft 101, a field guide to the art of wilderness survival. So let's get into it. Part 1 is You're Up, Chapter 1, which talks about backpacks and rucksacks. You can organize the essentials there based on the 5 C's of survivability: cutting tools, cover elements, combustion devices, containers, cordias as well. A lot of this to basically keep your core temperature uh, control, comfort, and also convenience. It explains as well how you can make one on your own. Goes in really detail on this and not that detail on other things that you would expect, but anyhow. Talks as well about pack baskets, which are extremely lightweight. They're rigid, they are comfortable, durable, and you can load of the crap out of them and they will still carry a lot. They're not bright mostly, which contributes to camouflage. Other pack mentions are thumb lines, in which the straps are attached to a heavier load, like a packer frame, and are worn across the forehead to assist in carrying the load, like you can see in some Nepalese or Mexican cultures. Now, chapter 2 talks about tools, the main ones: knives, saws, axes, covers the basics, knife blades, profiles, as well as the basic knife grinds. Like, for example, flattened Scandinavian grinds are easier, to sharpen this quickly in the field, special for 5 shaving, carving work as well. Hollow grinds blades for skinning tasks, but are the most susceptible to damage because the blade is too thin. Convex edges are the most resilient and best for splitting. For example, talks about jackknives, or better known as pocket knives, and its speciality, which is that they can fold in itself. Also, it reminds you that some of the multifunctional tools may lose the quality of each tool, um, which multifunctional tools are normally, how would I say? Maybe I haven't buy the the expensive ones, but normally they are not that good. Like I wouldn't recommend it, but anyhow, the message is that the quality of each tool, so to speak, you may lose or have a weaker hitch because the blade is rotating around in an axis, and you will lose strength and you can break it and so forth. So there you have it. But you have the advantage that you have other tools in the same thing. Covers as well safety issues like the triangle of death, which is the space in between your upper legs, including the groin and both femoral arteries. So you want to be away from such place when working, of course. Notches, shear cuts like bark removal, feather sticks for initial fire, knife care to keep it dry and out of rust. Knives are also, given a great priority on the list, which is, it's very versatile tool. In regard to axes, there are many types of axes: tomahawks, belt axes. You have instructions on how to process firewood as well. Chapter 3 is about rope, cordage, and webbings, knots. Also, cordage is useful for making fire, lashings, bindings, and even trapping, fishing, host of other things. Chapter 4 starts with a great quote. I really love it. The simpler the outfit, the more skill it takes to manage it, and the more pleasure one gets in his achievements. I didn't note it here who wrote it, but it's a great quote. I really like it. Forward talks about containers and cooking tools. In every good kit, you'll find items for heating water, cooking foods, also, obviously, making medicinal teas and decoctions, choosing bottles, cups, pots, and pans that are made from the right material is an important decision and should reflect your needs in the bush. Yep, as you know also from the mid 19th to the early 20th century, the majority of cookware carried a food was made of aluminum or steel. So they believe that could provoke, it's not cancer, or Alzheimer disease, if I'm not wrong. But this guy says that it's not confirmed until this day. I'm really not sure, but important to study. Yep, when it covers natural shelters, it talks about lean-to shelters. You can make a lean-to by lashing a simple cross pole between trees at 45-degree angle and against the wind, of course, preferably for dry conditions, and you add a second side for rainy conditions. Covers, combustion, three reliable methods for ignition readily available in today's world: the lighter, ferrocerium rod, magnifying glass or sunglass, as well as primitive ones like board drills. Yep, chapter 7, um, second part of the guide, talks about setting up camp depending on the time frame you want to stay. Also hygiene, type of foods to start a fire. Chapter 8, navigating terrain, all what you need to know. Personal camp hygiene, how to use compasses, maps, navigation methods, of course. Chapter 9 is about medicine, wild edibles, trapping, processing game. A chapter you'll probably love. Most people like the Bush simply because they were raised into the culture of hunting with their parents or family members and so forth. So, and it's also an deep instinct in human beings. So yeah. So yes, to sum it up, this is a great book. It doesn't go in depth into every topic, which is, from a 101 you would expect that, but it's not. Illustrations are great, but not like follow like step by step things you may follow. Yeah, it's a great book. Just that you don't want it to go alone in the wilderness with this thing, and let's say that you will follow as a incredibly detailed guideline, um, if you understand what I mean. So yes, that's my basic review. In general, I would say it's a great book. You probably should have it in your virtual or physical library. So yes, and also I would expect that next books, because this guy had wrote several books before, if I'm not wrong. So I want to give them a look. So yes, that's all, and thank you for listening.